Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on March 3rd, 2024, at approximately 4:29 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the precise philosophies I guide almost my every movement by. With this in mind, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me and they have worked for literally thousands of other people over the years with varying degrees of success based on their own personal efforts. Now, tonight being Sunday, is quite literally open topic. I didn't plan anything out for tonight because it's open. Therefore, if you've got a question, absolutely put it in the chat room, preferably in all caps. Okay, at least partial caps, and at the very least, put a wavy hand in there so I can spot the thing coming in. Now, before we get into it, we have LA Moon in the house with the gold. And LA, just a real quick point here. All I've got left to do with this, as it turns out, there's a real big bibliography in this. Reference whole 9 yards. No, they don't call it bibliography. There's a real big appendices in this. I don't read the appendices. Okay, which is why it's done. Now it's just a question. This one's going to you as soon as I get down there. All I got left to do now is just mark it off in my book because I've been tracking what books I've been reading. Haven't figured out what I'm going to read next. Okay, that would be that one right off the bat. We have Joe in with the silver. Joe Stewart. How you doing? Glad you could join us. The thing with cemeteries, you got to remember, people are dying to get into them, so of course it's active. Of course, what they don't tell you is the people that are already in there are dying to get back out. So I do hope things are going rather well for you. For me, it's been a hectic day. Well, today was my day gaming. That's what I've got when I game with a few other people. It's not a solo game. Net result is we just got finished at 3 o'clock, and here I am. But today, amazingly enough, number one, I'm actually awake. Kind of a bonus in that case. Now, the other thing, no, I don't want that one. What I haven't figured out, and I should have double checked. Now, I've got a couple of options. Okay, I am in the middle of reading a number of books. So what do I got here? Like I said, I did not plan a thing out today. Primarily because, well, I chose not to. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. So, let's get this out of the way. And if I don't seem to stay put too terribly much, that would be normal. And that's got to be moved. But I'm still trying to get things organized and make sure that I get done what has to be. So we take this. Remember what I said about organization. Number one, and this just happens for me every day of the week. It just works out that way. Where are we here? I should actually have that as live. And Chad, you have come in with the bronze. So let us see here. We want to grab that. And Chad Smith. I believe that's that. Yep. Eyes are getting better. It's amazing. I stopped the medication I was on. I'm not exactly against the doctor's orders because I didn't ask her. Where are we? We want copy. Now, this here is the link to Chad Smith's live stream and archives for that matter. So absolutely drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give them a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and then share the daylights out of the thing. Okay, because quite frankly, it's in sharing these links with each other that we are going to make this a better world for virtually everybody. Robert White, hello, hello. How are we there, Robert? Hopefully your day is going well. Nice to see you're up and about. Now, I require that. As per usual, I still have a list of things I'm working on. Neat part here is on this particular setup today. I got right now there's 16 things on my list, but that started at what? When the heck did I get up this morning? Oh, there we are. Really? Okay. Got to bed at 2 this morning, back up at 5. Like, we're talking about a whole pile of sleep, aren't we? Oh, rubber goods. Warming up again. No air conditioning. Well, I was about to say, you know, when I was a kid, we used to use air conditioning by you get in the car, roll the window down, stick your hand out the window, and drive really fast. I don't think that's going to work all that well. Matter of fact, in your case, I can see a bit of a hiccup with that. Now, got that done, got that in, got my gaming done. Haven't done that yet. Okay, so where do we go from here? Yo, it's warming up on your end. We got hit with snow. I'm not happy. Yo, Mario, here we are, March 3rd. We've had a virtually snowless winter. And here we go again. Not my idea of enjoyable. But, you know, let's face it, I don't like the snow and ice at the best of times. The other thing I did find out was when you drop 60 pounds of fat, you're no longer as warm as you used to be. You know, I spent a lot of years about 40 pounds overweight. You know, now I'm finding that works out rather nicely. I did some calculating today. I can actually, it's kind of funny the way things work. But I'm turning around now. You know, it's sad the way that works. But no, I'm now looking at it. Checked last night. Turns out my weight can literally jump, or literally drop by just over 2 pounds in overnight. Okay, which is what I did last night. So again, just like I'm sitting at this point with the 600 subscribers, I'm turning around and I'm fluctuating back and forth at the 190. I'm down this morning under 180, under 190 again. Okay, and we have honorable mention goes to, I think it's honorable mention. LA is gold, Joe is silver, Chad. Oh, Chad is bronze, and this means that Robert White, you got the honorable mention. Just about missed that point. But we have Cowie joining us. Sunday's not been bad. I've managed to get things done. And the nice part about it from my end is simple. I racked off another book. Like, I've got a list of, I think, 30 books that I'm set up to read. Okay. This year, I've tied off 3 of them, I think. What I haven't decided is whether I should read another encyclopedia. I've got 20 more books in the encyclopedia I'm reading. It's an old encyclopedia, but there's 20 more volumes of it that I haven't read. Right. Plus, I've got 8 novels, I think, that I haven't read, but that are in line to be read. I just haven't figured out which one. Nope, actually, I think I just made my decision, but it's this one here. They're not a big encyclopedia, but it's this one, called Nature. It's from back in the 1970s. Now, I've read the first two volumes. This one's volume 3. I just haven't quite decided, and I don't have to right now. Okay. I got the whole encyclopedia over a few years for Christmas. And now I'm finally reading them. Once I'm done reading them, like the rest of the books I'm in the middle of reading, which, by the way, growing up, I didn't read a lot. But I have found one of the big things that I do is I get up in the morning, get up, get my bed made, get my meds into me, and rest assured, I've cut most of my meds out. As I said, not happy with my meds making me blind. So I went, nope, not going to go there. But, with that in mind, I've started to cut that out. But I get up in the morning, get all that done. Then I read the 3 books I'm working on, and if I take a look at these ones, if I can get a hold of them, that'd be nice. That's my grandmother's autobiography. And I am now over the halfway mark. I think I'm over the halfway. I go through that. That's 33. 36. I've read 36 pages out of 53. So, that being said, I'm over halfway through reading that. And of course, the Bible is another issue altogether. I'll just do it. There it is. The Bible, I have just managed to get to. I'm now into the first book of Samuel, but I've read the first 238 pages of it, which ain't bad considering there's. No, that's not right. That's not the page count. I don't know what the page count is, but I've read about, rough guess, about a quarter of it. Now I just gotta figure out what the third one's gonna be. Let's see here. Joe's going the red light to the far left, the white light further back, up in the air. Then there's a different shadow object back there underneath white light. Yeah, you've got activity, no question there. And I mean, there's part of me in a very cursory way that kind of is envious of you. It's just I get these guys walking through my house, so I don't worry about them. But with that in mind, that's not a bad idea. Here's the neat thing. I've always said that everything is connected. Well, we did it again. During the game today, the guy I'm gaming with, both of us went, the way the world is set up, there is a lot of disorganized, there's a lot of rivalry going on. So we have decided to settle into this city and build our own community inside the city. Now, granted, we're going to build it under the auspices of it being an adventurers club, but we are going to deal on the black market. But the thing is, it's running rampant. There's no balance anywhere. So that works out well for us. So again, like I said, I'm building an empire in this world. But here I go again, another gaming character. What am I doing? I'm building myself a flaming empire. Okay, this neat little thing is helping me do it. Now, just so I can get things organized, what do I got? We've got that. Oh, haven't recorded. That's right. Oh, look down. It didn't finish that one already. Got that. Okay, so on the list that I had, I told you I had 16 here. I've only got 4 of them left. 4 things that were already set. So it's time to get things organized. Like I said, if I'm going to tell you this works, it only stands to reason that I turn around and do what I say works, considering it does. Now, here's a neat little question for you, though. Okay, as I said, in order to do things and this is the way my mind works all the time, it just doesn't shut up on me very often. Okay, big tall black grave in that spot, and there's a big black cross. Solar light on. A big glass cross. Solar light on. So when dark comes on, the light comes on. Yeah, that would do it. There's no question there. I probably should have slowed that down because we're in the chat room. But for those of you listening in, Joe has just pointed out he goes, but I know what that different shadow object might be. There's a big black grave in that spot, and there's a big black cross. Solar light on, so when the dark comes, it lights up back there. That would explain the black object real easily. And like I've said, in any setup, you always look at the logical possibilities first. Once you've eliminated them, then you start looking for the metaphysical field. Okay, but I will tell you, I'm looking at this whole setup. I keep running questions through my head that people have asked me. For those of you that are looking at the whole thing on hybridization, okay, I heard somebody ask one day, a number of people, well, do all hybrids know they're hybrids? Now, the person they asked, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, okay, but the person that they asked said unequivocally, yes, they all know. Well, let's put that in perspective. That's kind of like asking, do all adopted kids know they're adopted? Or do all kids, do all babies that where the father disappears or dies and new father comes in, do all babies know that new kid, that new parent is not their original? The reality is they can't. Okay, but I will tell you what you can know. You can know if you're content with the way your world is working. So, this is what I'm looking at this point. Now, what is this? Oh, I gotta figure that out. Lillian, just to let you know, I'm going to be looking into it where it comes to the maple syrup we talked about yesterday, I believe. I don't know if I'm going to bring it with me because I gotta check and see how to get it across the border. It's a question of you're only allowed to bring a couple ounces of liquid on the planes now. Which I don't have a problem with. But maple syrup is absolutely a liquid. Okay. And therefore I gotta check with the airline and see how to pack it up so that I don't have to worry about it. That would be the biggest issue. Otherwise, I'll just ship it down to you because we'll make sure you get it. It is one of those things. It's kind of like my getting bugles in Kelowna. I had to have them shipped across the border. So we are going to find a way to get that to you. The book, it's getting packed. It'll come with me. Now, I look at these and what do I got? Right here, we have... Okay. That can get tied off. Let me just grab that. This here is literally my to-do list. So I grab it. I shouldn't say it's my to-do list. It's all of my to-do lists. So again, striving to get things organized does mean making absolutely certain you stay on top of it. So that takes care of that. I'm sure some of you guys recognize these. Dual tanks, they work like a charm. I still use them, but then I'm still very much a dinosaur. So that's how that goes. Let's pop that in. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's just it, Joe. I mean, the nice little part, um, the nice little part about that, Joe, is a lot of what goes on that back there you may find is just plain normal. And, I love this. Rubber White goes, pack it in your suitcase underneath. Much as that's a great idea, I found out one thing. Governments are really, really picky, or more to the point, the airlines are really picky. If they find something like that, all of a sudden you're in serious trouble. And much as I agree, it's a pain in the neck. Far better to find out above board, because I have enough stress traveling without having the added bonus of them pulling me aside because of the fact that I had a liquid. I look at the other side of it. Anything in the wrong hands is a weapon. And the reality is, it's a pain in the neck. That is what I'm likely going to end up doing there, Robert. I'm going to talk to them and see if I can bring it down. If they say no, you can't bring that across on the border, you can't bring it across with you. If that's the case, then I will simply ship it. Because the reality of it is, you can't get real Canadian maple syrup in the States very well, especially not stuff that we get up here. It's kind of like, it's very much a question of knowing where you can get it. Sometimes the shipping is insane, but better the shipping cost than the cost of them finding out you try getting it across and then they tag you for smuggling. I don't know. For me, that doesn't work well. Now, what is it? That's my list. So what is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. I don't think I've got anything listed there, do I? Put this list together. Oh, why would I do that? I'm going to have to modify that, sort of. So I'm going to do that right now while we're here. Because like I said, I did not plan much of anything here. Oh, LA, not a problem there. What we got, Robert? I know, same down here. Artificial Canadian maple syrup is all we get. Yeah, and I don't like the artificial stuff personally. Oh, excellent, Joe. Joe, that is fantastic. I am still in the process of getting mine transferred over onto soft copy. Now, let me see. I gotta get that cleared. That's the list of chores I'm doing right now. Gonna put that back because I haven't entirely decided if I'm going to read another encyclopedia or maybe I'm going to start reading a novel, which would be different. I haven't read a novel in literally years. So I'm going to put this encyclopedia back in the stable place. And we go up here. As you can tell, the bed still gets used as a desk while I'm working. Well, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day's been going well. I require that. Time to get that moved around too. I just moved that, so that's okay. I'm not going to do that. Not yet. That'll get done after I get my next chunk of paper of money in. Okay, I know what that is. Now, let us see what we got here. Oh, now be careful with that there, Woo. But congratulations. Do you know where it goes yet? But I do agree, sound frequency is absolutely one of the neat little tools you work with there. Curiosity though, are you actually documenting how you did it? Because the one thing about true science is it's got to be utilizing the same tools. It's got to be replicated by, it's got to be replicated be able to be replicated by other people utilizing the same tools with the same setup. Okay. Otherwise, it's a shot in the dark. I'm going to warn you about one little detail, Woo. Okay, and this is something that I found out a long time ago. Be absolutely certain you check the area around it. That'd be great, Woo. That really would. The one thing I will caution you where it comes to working with portals, if you're opening them, it doesn't always close automatically. Okay, according to the equipment that you have access to, odds are that's what it's going to look like. Let me see here. Let's turn this light on and get stuff out of the way so I can see what it does. It's my coffee. Nobody gets that. Move that out of the way, and we have. That was written there, and we're not doing that. Let me see here. Calendar, February. What did we do last Sunday? Well, not last Sunday, last Monday. Well, that's January. Well, that didn't help. So we take a look at February's calendar just to see what we're on, what we did. Because I'll tell you, remembering things is not my strong suit. But last Monday, okay, we did that. Okay, now that we've got that, go to there. And now that means tomorrow we are going to take a look at the Caboran. Okay, simply because I deal with the spirits themselves, but the reality is spirits are, as much as they are a definitive species, aka every one of you, everybody that is in a corporeal body or in a third dimensional body, to heck with corporeal, is a spirit to start with. But tomorrow we're going to look at the Caboran, the planets. Not all planets and asteroids are Caboran. Okay, but all Caboran are planets, planetoids, asteroids. Depending on who you talk to, you'll figure out which one's which. So if we do that, now where did that list just go? We take a look at this, and the Caborans are set up for Monday. Tuesday will be Okay. And Tuesday, I'm just actually filling out my hard copy calendar. Tuesday is going to be the imagination versus reality. Then Wednesday it's going to be, we're looking at society itself. Let's see if I missed anything. Again, guys, whatever you do, if you've got a question, don't care if it's the same topic. If you've got a comment, can be whatever topic you're in. That doesn't matter. Where are we? Where are we going? Yeah, the government definitely has higher power ones. Now, don't forget, whoa, if you're sending the coordinates to ship it somewhere, you've got to put it's got to be done on a 3-dimensional grid. Storm, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day is going well. Because you got to remember, longitude and latitudinal coordinates is great if you're dealing with traveling on essentially a 2-dimensional run. Because the third coordinate takes care of itself. But when you're opening a portal, you've got to make certain you've got all three. Ultimately, yes, Robert, but here's the neat thing. There's a reason that there are 6 keys to the coordinates on the Stargate. Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And Nathan, somewhere in here, I've got what I'm looking for. Right there, we take a look at Nathan's show. There we are. Now again, guys, drop in, give Nathan a listen. If you like what he's got to say, do give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of it. Okay, because it's this sharing that is going to make things happen nicely. It's how we're going to turn things around. Absolutely, Nathan. Let's face it. Work has to come before listening in on a show. Okay, much as I appreciate you dropping in, always do. Now, Wednesday, we are looking at society. But by looking at society, we're going to look at the mindset of society on the whole. I'm not talking about one nation, one country. I'm talking about the global community that we're living in. Okay, that's the thing we're going to start dealing with on Wednesday. So, on Wednesday, on the 6th, we are going to be looking at mindset of the global community. Now, bear in mind, I don't research. I do this based on observation, based on what I'm seeing happen. Okay. And I will tell you, I do not always coincide with what other people are seeing. I've been called paranoid the whole 9 yards. I'm used to it. Okay. But I'll tell you, is it paranoia if you see it coming? Even if everybody disagrees with you, is it paranoia if what you see coming and what you say is coming, if it happens, were you being paranoid or were you just dealing with foresight? I think what I'm going to do here, I like getting my mindset straight. I'm just not good at it. Now, what is that? Okay, this one. Grab my list of things to do. This little bill I have got to deal with. This is a bill I've agreed to take on and eliminate as quick as I can to alleviate. Like I said, I will be taking money I'm bringing in to help deal with problems. Now, in this case, I'm adding debt load to somebody. I've literally decided I don't have a lot of money, but well, I didn't decide that. That was just a matter of fact. But yeah, no doubt there, Ellie. Ellie goes, paranoia is just another word for longevity. But one of the things, where are we here? Okay. That was the wrong. And yeah, sure. Dig up the other one. Just adding another one of these little tasks. Like I said, I was down to 4. So what the heck? Let's get them all dealt with. So what I'm doing is somebody's asked me to help get them out of debt. They do desire to pay it back. So I'm in a position where I can actually do this. Will I put myself on the line? Not a prayer. Okay. But will I deal with it as best I can? You bet. And that's where things are starting to happen. So I've got that one. Now, let us see here. That's up to the 6th. That's up to Wednesday. I'm going to start just taking these, transferring them over onto the hard copy calendar. And again, guys, if you have a topic or a concern or an interesting side you'd like to take a look at, yes, I've got the next 3 months laid out. But I laid it out in such a way, it's very easy to slip it down a month or slip it down a week and put in something you guys are interested in looking into. This was just a way of getting organized so that I can make certain that things are moving in the right direction. So I don't have to try and figure it out on the fly. Because in case you hadn't noticed, figuring things out on the fly doesn't work that well. So we have the Caborn is on the 4th. That's what this is. This is March 4th. Then on Tuesday, which is March 5th, and then we have the astrological side is March 6th. So that therefore leads to this one. Rewrite Pussy Perk schedule. That way I've got it set up nicely so I don't have to figure it out down the road. So what I'm doing here, I got a stack of papers here that I've got to go through. Okay. And I'm just marking down which ones are going to get sorted out. Again, guys, this is just what I'm referring to about working with the list. Okay. You put a list together so you can get things done one step at a time. Now, those two can sit there for a moment. And what do I got here? Ow. Okay. Now we go transfer the journal hard copy to soft copy. See, this way, when I get done, now these are just little itty bitty chores, okay, or tasks necessary to clear them out of the way. And I will tell you, the more things are cleared out of the way, the better off you are. Okay, and the easier things are going to work. Now, no, I don't have, like I said, I didn't plan much of anything today because of the fact that, well, it's Sunday, so why bother, as it were. Now, what is this one? Okay. This is an interesting setup. Those are storylines I've got to place. So, pop those there. And we go. Place the storylines. Now, here's the thing is, by actually organizing this, and the reason I'm doing it on air, well, number one, like I said, this is open, and therefore, topics are available. Doesn't matter what they are. Okay, let me ask you this. While you're sitting here, now, yes, absolutely, you could be doing whatever. Okay, to me, I may just be another voice in the background. Lord knows, if I wasn't actually streaming right now, I would have I would have at least one movie, a video stream, as in YouTube. Okay, on the go, reading and reading and alternating between reading and writing. Okay, or I may be taking the painting. There are so many things that I can be doing that create all kinds of interesting side effects. One of the things I am finding with reading as much as I am lately is that I'm actually starting to think beyond the norm, as it were. Yeah, what are these? Oh, now this particular stack is a whole pile of writing projects I've got. Some for the stories that I'm writing, some for articles that have to come up in positive perspectives. Okay, but this is a whole pile of articles that I've got to get written. So we do this. Write one set article. And again, guys, if you have an idea, because right now I'm literally in the process of making absolutely certain that Positive Perspectives takes on a very organized pattern. I'm done with this idea of just trying to put it together. Now the neat part, and some of you have already done this. Okay, let's see. We are in January, so April. Where is it now? October, November. Okay, so we're going April. Okay, now I've mentioned I will be sending money back to people based on word of mouth advertising. Now, this literally means, from your guys' standpoint, this is going to throw you for a loop in all likelihood. When I talk about going back to people, I am referring to taking the money and going, okay, this is how much money's coming in. Okay, this is what's happening. So here's the way this works. I bring in however much money through the first quarter, January, February, and March. Now I've already got January and February calculated out. What happens is I calculate the amount, and then, whoa, That was close. I calculate them out. I track them in this binder. Yes, I am very much a dinosaur. Okay, but once I get to the end of March, 2 weeks later, the 17th. Okay, and I got to reassess exactly what day. Because bearing in mind, I'm no longer working. Okay, I no longer have a stable income. Well, it's not entirely true. But I have to pick a day of the week, a day of the month to actually send the money out. But here's what I'm looking at. Where it comes to paying my word of mouth advertising, it goes to my, it goes into the whole system. And the people that have generated more than a $10 referral fee will see that show up in their hands. And I'm talking about a cash referral. Okay. But referral means literally what you've spent, what you spent, and what people you have sent my direction have spent. It is a sliding scale. I'm not going into explaining that. Okay. But I will tell you that it applies the same for everybody. Literally, even with myself set at the top of the chain, even I applied it, and it applies to me as well. Okay, I've already figured out how it goes. So what happens is this, because I myself am tied into the system. Because of the fact, without me, I required an anchor point. Now, like I've said, word of mouth advertising is the number one method of that. It's the number one method of advertising in the world. Okay. Even with all of your other little odds and ends, social media doesn't matter. Doesn't hold a candle to word of mouth. So I put the system together, and what goes into my hand, what actually fits into the calculation, what would be sent to me as an individual, will go into my savings. But the massive majority will sit there. Okay, the massive majority will sit in the account to cover future future monies. But I'm not going to be sending people I'm not going to send you a company a discount card or a coupon to spend on my stuff. I will be sending cash. Now, bad news, guys, I send Canadian. Of course, I charge Canadian, I send Canadian. Kind of works out well. Okay, but I do track it. And this means any money that is spent, that you've spent personally, or anybody that you've referred personally to me, okay, to my company, will end up with stuff coming back when the referral fee gets calculated. And that I cannot even begin to tell you what it's going to look like for people. Okay, I know what it's like. I can tell you the higher that streaming is, the better the return on it. Now, I calculated out years and years and years ago based on only using a $15 cost. Okay, and what happened was the first month there was a 15-cent return. Needless to say, I wasn't doing that. But at a steady pace, what I saw happen, the potential, this is not a guarantee because it is a system I've got in place that will last as long as I can maintain it. Okay, that will return the money to the people involved. Okay, and the potential for it is in 13 months, assuming a stable growth. What ends up happening is that 15 cents turns into in excess of $1,000. Now, that is a pipe dream at this point, because until somebody gets a check at that size, it's just a pipe dream. But I will tell you, if you watch what happens, you'll see that, as with everything else, when I talk about doing something, I make it happen. One way or the other, I will find a way to make it happen. Now, I've got that all worked out, and we had 4 a minute ago. Because of that little bit of work, we are now looking at. Now I've got 9 things on the list already. Still working on what I'm going to be reading next. But let me ask you this. Okay, from your guys' standpoint, because I'm planning on doing this. Well, I'm not planning on, I've already put it in motion. Okay, when I said I was building an empire, I was not kidding. I was looking at it going, people talk about building an empire, and what they end up doing is going, I'm going to make as much money as I can and put it into my pocket. Okay, I don't require a staggering amount. I really don't. To run my household, never mind my share of it, but to run my household, where'd my brain box go? Take that, divide by 3. Whoop. Oh, that's wrong. 1,000 divided by 3 equals that. So we take that, my share of rent, and get this, in today's world, where $3,500 is your average for a 3-bedroom apartment. Okay, $3,500 is what I'm paying for a 3-bed. Is what I'm paying $1,000. Okay, now if I take that, so I've got. Oh, there we are. That should be another 160-ish. Yep. Okay. Now, my share of survival in this whole run is I've got to bring in $500 a month to pay my share of rent and rent, utilities, food, etc. You get the idea. Now, question. I mentioned this way back 2 weeks ago on Saturday. In order to get your life in order, you got to have your head working. You got to know what you're looking at. Now, in my case, that 500 is all I require. I've got more coming in than that now, and working towards an even higher income. Let me ask. One of the things I found is the best tools in the world are absolutely useless if you don't know where they are. Now, right now, what are we sitting on here? Oh, okay. Let's refresh that just on principle. And again, guys, if you like the stream, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. We are going to grow this. We are going to have an impact on the world. Like I mentioned, when I say I'm going to do something, I know it's a weird concept. Say you're going to do it, make it happen. Okay, so what I've got here is I'm adding things to positive perceptions, positive perspectives. Okay, in order to change the atmosphere of the whole idea of a newsletter, of a magazine. I'm done with the idea of things just traveling along and everybody looking at the negative only. So I figure, why not concentrate on the positive? Like I know, like with you, Joe, I mean, I watch what you're going through with the graveyard, and I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun when you go through it. It's a lot of fun to keep an eye on and see what comes up. Now I gotta ask, Robert White, are you by any chance up and running yet? I know you're able to walk to a degree. I'm just hoping you're getting around at least on a cane at this point, because I know how much of a pain that can be. What do we got? Whoop. There we go. Now, let me call up this one thing. I mentioned something the other day, and this is a new piece of no, not that. This is a new piece of technology. There we are. Okay. And to be clear, Nathan, if you're listening in, the item that I was referring to, and I'm going to be documenting this is getting added to Races of the World in the second printing. Okay. Now, the thing with the technologies, I do love that. Not. The thing with the technologies I'm uncovering is I will include them in the beginning in each of the volumes of Races of the World. Matter of fact, that is something I do have to do here. To add the other three, because it's not like I'm going to sit still and do nothing when I get done today. Matter of fact, that's probably the last thing I'll be looking and doing. So, but there is a new piece of technology that, thanks very much, Nathan, that discussion we had the other day told me what I was looking at. The Xenon, which are a robotic inbound race. Okay. Now they won't be here, quite frankly, if we're lucky, for centuries. This doesn't mean they aren't there. But, okay, what we've got is something called a reliquor. And what it is designed for is it literally boils the core of a Caboran. Now, Caboran, as you well know, you may know, is a planetary race, as in the race itself is comprised of planets. Now, every planet is not a Caboran, but every Caboran is an astronomical body. A planet, a planetoid, an asteroid, a comet. Every one of the Caboran is one of these. You may even find, well, you probably won't find, but just the little particulates are also Caboran. And with this in mind, when we talk about them tomorrow, I'll explain the entire life cycle of the things. Okay, yeah, we're going to go right down an odd lane tomorrow. But the reliquor, okay, I will be adding the information into Races of the World, the second printing. And now that I've got things back moving properly, now it's time to push. As you've seen, I've managed to get a couple of books finished reading and out the door. Yeah, I said, that's what I'm getting done. That's what's happening. And I know that's such a bizarre thing for most people. Now, what, pray tell, is this genius talking about? Yeah, you're interesting. We'll look at that later. Okay, there. See, one of the things that I always look at is if you're looking and doing something, you're talking about it, well, the saying is the proof is in the pudding. Okay, this is why, when I say this is what I'm doing, I'm going to get these books read. I've racked off 1, 2, 3 books, I think, since I started the year, and said I was going to start clearing these off. Now I'm starting to. Okay, Now, will I ever be able to recite them word for word like my brother used to? I wouldn't hold my breath. But have you got your mindset on the idea of what you are not content with? Have you started eliminating those things from your life? Have you started changing the energy around them? Because that's how things happen. And yes, I know I repeat that quite often. So what I'm looking at, this is one of the reasons why I do it this way. Now, we take a look at this and we go, Y12 is simply my way of saying Yldrbacian Chronicles, 12th in the series. Okay. I have to expand that to a degree. And then I will be working on Races of the World second printing. And again, I'll work on a little bit, change gears, work on a little something else. But the one thing I'm going to make absolutely certain of, let me ask you guys, okay, and I think this is a pretty black and white issue. I'm referring to size. Okay. Now I've got one of two options. And I'm thinking, like, the two options I've got are this. I can make a coloring book that is only that size. Okay. Or I can make a coloring book that is that size. Okay. I'm thinking that's the size of the coloring book. And I mean the dimensions, not the number of pages. I'm thinking the coloring book that I'm working on will be that size. The poetic anthology will be done in a book this size. Okay, what's your take on it, guys? Love to hear your comments here or in the either straight here in the chat room or in the comment section. And of course, any of the books I'm showing you here, okay, any of the ones I've written are available directly through me, through that fine little link at the top of the screen there, that Buy Me a Coffee. Right there will put you in touch with all of them. Okay, it will also show you how to get a hold of me. Where are we here? Yeah, that's why I was kind of thinking. It probably won't have a lot of detail on this run, but the reality is I'm designing it so that people will be in. By the way, the coloring book we're working on is literally this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, second printing will have the pictures, but the coloring book is likely to come out before it because all I got to do with it is go, here's the races, put them in and be done with it. What I haven't decided is if I'm going to organize them. And I think in this case, probably not because they'll get changed around as they go along. What I've got to do, though, is make sure I keep tabs on which ones I put in the books. To make sure that the new ones come out with enough new ones to carry on. Well, the good news on the coloring book, I've got all the pictures. So this is just literally a question of moving them into place. Okay. That's all that's going to be. And it will, once I know how much it costs, then I'll be able to give an actual price quote on what it'll cost to get it to you. Okay, there's no problem there at all. Now here's a neat little, and this is literally assuming I can get this done in time, which I can't see a big problem with it. But I'm coming down there anyway, Lynn. I will tell you this. This book is coming with me. I'm already done it. Now I just got to record the information into my records. I would like LA. Forrest Louie, how you doing? Glad you could join us. If you're missing one of because of the amount of help you guys have been giving me, I know you've got some of the books already, but if you can drop me a line as to which books you don't have, let me know because they're coming down with me. The fact of the matter is, this I do for free. This and positive perspectives I do for free. Everything else is designed to generate an income so that this can be done for free. Oh, I shouldn't say that. When I mentioned I am helping somebody out with their bill, that fund I'm putting together for charity, this is one of those weird things I'm doing with it. Okay. I will use it. And this is going to be, it's not exactly a bank because, see, a bank charges you stupid interest rates. I'm not going there. Way too many complications. But it is perfectly legal and perfectly acceptable in every country I know of where I can take $50 and loan it to somebody and say, give me the $50 back when you've got it. If you're not putting conditions and interest on it, there's no need for anybody to worry about it. And nobody does. Okay. Number one, it'd be almost impossible to track. So what I've done with what I'm doing with this one individual, where are we here? What can't say? What can't you say? Oh. I am curious why not there, Forrest. Well, that sets that up. No. The thing is, what I'm doing with the charity money I'm putting aside is I will take it and loan it to people that I know are in need, are in real requirement. Not the ones that go, hey, I haven't gone out to dinner for a long time, or I'd really really like to go to this movie. I haven't gone, and I'd really like to go. I'm not footing the bill for a lot of things. But where it comes to helping people that I personally feel are doing what they can to survive, I will absolutely do it. I will absolutely loan the money, and when it comes back in, it'll go back into the charity bin. That's what they call charity. Doing things without it costing the other person an arm and a leg. So this is why I say, this is March. At the end of March, I'll do the calculations, and then what's going to end up happening. When did you come in? I don't know. Oh, we got that bouncing again. This is an interesting. Yeah, I'm just watching the exchange between the mods and Forest. Okay, because tech is not my strong suit. And again, the fact that I didn't actually plan anything out really gives me a lot of room to work with. What do I do with it here? Ouch. Oh, there it is. Gotta figure this out. Oh, here's a bizarre question for you guys. Okay, and I'm looking at what I'm wondering is where it comes to the coloring books. I've got to keep it at a reasonable level, but in your guys' eyes, where it comes to putting a coloring book together, how many pictures do you figure are reasonable in a coloring book? Okay, I don't know what the price is going to end up at yet, simply because I don't know what the cost of doing it is. Where did I put it? Oh, over here. Could have sworn I had a couple coloring books sitting here somewhere. But where they ended up, I don't know. That seems to be a normal problem. Okay. Oh, Forrest, this is not what we call disrupting. Okay. This is or disruptive. This is what we call just life in the impulsive perceptions. This is the way things go here. Where are we here? Oh, where are we here? Joe, it's Yellowstone that has the massive volcano that most people are worried about. Oh, there we go. LA's going between 10 and 20 pages. Yeah, I went with the idea. LA's saying between 10 and 20 pages. And that works well. I was literally looking at it only being one set anyway. Like one-sided anyway, for exactly that reason. Because a lot of kids, they'll do the coloring, and the parents want to hang the picture up. Okay, so I'm looking at it going, that works out well. Because I don't desire it to get too big. Like I desire to keep it as cheap as I can get away with. Which means tomorrow is Monday. Got a business call coming in at 11, which means I gotta be home. Well, yeah, I've got it coming in at 11. So tomorrow afternoon I'll deal with that and get a price for it. That way I'll know. Of course, by tomorrow I may well have it sorted out. I've got the pictures here already. At least I should have. So let us take a peek. No, let's not do that. Yeah, here's the thing, Joe. That volcano that we're talking about in Yellowstone, one of two things has to happen. With the amount of stress in this world right now, we have to take a look at that volcano, and pressure has got to be released. Now, what this means is in the local vicinity, I know there's a lot of volcanoes in that area. Either we require the release, then we require pressure release via 3 or maybe 4 local volcanoes, smaller ones, right around it, or Kilimanjaro over in Africa has to go. Like it's got to go off to release the pressure. It's either that or if Yellowstone goes, we're in trouble. Oh, the good news there, LA, is I've already got the pictures. It's going to be done in black and white. Okay, I already know it'll be there's the picture. Like I'm looking at two possibilities. One is there's the picture. So, okay, let's try this in English, shall we? We've got Races of the Worlds out. Races of the World second printing is coming out as soon as I can get it done. In the meantime, Races of the World's second printing is coming out with pictures. So I've got the option of taking the pictures, turning them into a straight coloring book, or turning them into a coloring book with the info in the back. I'm going to be working with the coloring book only to start with. I'll look down the road at the other one. Right? But that way, I can turn it out and go, here it is. And, we keep it down at a minimal cost. This is why with these self-help books, these are $20. $20 Canadian in your pocket. I'm going to be keeping the price of the coloring books down as low as I can get away with. Okay, this idea of spending $30 on a coloring book doesn't work well for me. This is one of the reasons to keep them smaller and active. But if I can get it done properly, or more to the point, like I'll get it priced tomorrow. That's the easy part. But I keep looking around, keep putting things down, forgetting where I put them. I'm sitting here letting my mind do what it will, and all of a sudden I got a sheep load of work to do. Oh, there we go. Well, thanks so much for dropping in there, Forrest. Really do appreciate it. Absolutely have yourself a good evening. The one thing I keep wondering whether or not I've got complications as well. But I was checked for everything and literally told my mind is fine. Hyperactive, but not OCD. Of course, I'm not sure how they got that. I'm reading 3 books at a time, concurrently writing. I think I've got 33 I'm working on. Might be more. I'm not sure. But I've got 8 I haven't even touched. This should give me enough to do tonight. Because the reality of it is, by putting things in order, by getting them streamlined, you will find you get a lot more accomplished. Yeah, Joe, your dad is not mistaken. If Yellowstone blows, if it goes on its current with the size it is, okay, it will throw so much garbage into the air, so much dirt into the air, it will block out the sun. Net result, all those green trees you see out there won't be able to live. And bear in mind, if the green trees and the algae dies, our oxygen supply on this planet is toast. And I'm not sure about you guys, but I found that if your oxygen level is toast, you're not going to live very long. This is why I say, we've got to hope that one or two things happens. Either, and my calculations say 3, maybe 4 minor volcanoes around Yellowstone will release enough pressure to avoid it detonating, at least for a time. Either that, or Mount Kilimanjaro goes off big time. Because if Kilimanjaro goes off, it'll still create a problem. But it's not the same size as Yellowstone National Park. And by the way, that neat little volcano is right under what you guys know as Old Faithful. Now here's the silly part. It's and the one difference is, from what I've seen, and I've seen this over the millennia. Okay, Yellowstone goes off, and we are not looking at it wiping out Earth. We're talking about it wiping out all life as we know it on Earth, except the microbes. Okay, and then things start over. I'm personally not of the opinion that's a good idea. But one thing that people are not entirely aware of is that that's the other one. The one thing that people are not entirely aware of is that we're looking at a neat little situation. Okay, if people decide they're going to start working together, start getting along and focusing on the things that are good in this world and promoting those things instead of promoting the negative ones. If people choose to do that, we can alter the energy flow and release the pressure that is building. Because the pressure that is building in Yellowstone right now is in direct correlation to the conflicts around the world. Okay, and I know many people are going to look at me going, that is not the way it works. Well, there's a saying that goes that's really neat. It says, those of you that, I saw this bumper sticker once that read, those of you that live your life as though God does not exist, better pray you're right. In this case, I'm telling you, if we I can tell you, if we start treating each other properly, the stress level will collapse. The stress level comes down, the pressure that is building in Yellowstone will collapse. Don't take my word for it. But if you're going to ignore it, do us all a favor. Pray you God that I'm wrong. Absolutely hope that I've got it wrong. Because if I've got it wrong, then we're fine. If I don't have it wrong and you're ignoring it and continuing to focus on the negative, if that's what you're choosing to do, what you're doing is, oddly enough, you're helping contribute to a mass suicide and murder all in one shot. Okay, and we're talking mass as in billions dead. Okay, I'm not talking food shortages. I'm talking food annihilation. Okay, now look at the side of that. We take out all your sunlight. Your plants die. Your plants die. The herbivores die. The herbivores die. Your carnivores die. Okay, and if all of these people die, sooner or later, the carrion eaters are going to die too because there won't be any left. Okay, by the way, humans kind of require food, oxygen, and water. I'm not sure how that works in your world, but I know in mine it's kind of an important factor. Now I am not a scientist. Not in the traditional sense of I went to school, studied a bunch of science, and had somebody tell me, oh, you got an A for remembering all this stuff properly. Okay, I didn't do that. Okay, I got my marks in business and in English. And you really wouldn't know it by the fact I've done jack with my business and I keep stumbling over my own words. Which may give you an idea of my outlook on the way the educational system has worked. Christine, how are we doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day has been going well. Now, I am curious. If I look there, well, didn't need that. Move that over there. And we go to, yeah, that's going to take me way too much time. So I'm not doing that. I was going to see if I could look at something, but I am going to wait until I am done this stream. Now I got to be nosy, Christine. What pray tell you eating for dinner? Just because like I said, I'm nosy. But yeah, I'm doing well enough. I've actually got quite a number of things set up to go to keep me busy for the rest of the night. Did I not see something here? There. Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. Well, this is Sunday, so why don't we do this? Now, I haven't seen him in the chat room yet, but this is the link to World's live stream. Okay, to World Bigfoot Radio. He is on tonight at 8 o'clock Central, which I believe makes it 6 o'clock tonight. Okay, if you decide you're going to go and check it out, absolutely do. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. And where we got here? Here's the thing, Christine. Dinner is as exciting as you find it. You're talking about steamed broccoli, mac and cheese, and a hard-boiled egg. This is great. Okay, it's got all the necessary things in my eyes. And I fail to see the problem. I mean, I see why you say mac and cheese isn't exciting. Okay, but I grew up on the stuff. Okay, and you can see it didn't have any negative effect on me. I'm sitting here fine, just every now and then, but that's a whole different issue. Yeah, see, I've got slow cookers, I've got crock pots. I don't have a pressure cooker. Like when I was growing up, my mom always had a pressure cooker on the go, but I never trusted the things. Okay, I mean, realistically, you overpressurize the thing, the lid goes off it, and all of a sudden you got a hole in your roof. Oh, I have no problem saying using a slow cooker. I use a slow cooker, set it and forget it. I remember years ago. I remember years ago with the when the chain grills in the fast food restaurants first came out. Right, I went in. I got to the restaurant, and I'm looking at the chain grill sitting in the middle of a crater in the parking lot. And my first thought was, what genius just dropped the chain grill on the ground and drove off? Until I got into the fast food restaurant. Turned out they had installed it wrong. And when they fired up the chain grill, it sparked and took off. When it sparked and took off, it went straight up through the roof, created a beautiful sunroof, and landed in the middle of the parking lot. Fortunately, it missed every car and every person. So, I mean, I'm looking at this going, yeah, that's what natural gas can do for you. It's great. Myself, I'll settle for the slow cooker. Actually, that's not a bad idea, come to think of it, guys. That really isn't a bad idea. So we will set that on our list of things to do today. It's not like I don't have enough things, but I got a bunch of little things sorted around. Now, what do we got here? Pressure cooker cooks food faster, though. Ellie, how long do you cook tonight's meal? See, here's the neat thing. I've come to the conclusion, and this is one of the reasons why I won't bother with a pressure cooker myself. Okay, I got two boys here, one that really enjoys cooking, another one that doesn't. But I got no problem putting stuff in a slow cooker and firing it up and leave it cook until it's done. And then I'll let it cool and drop it into the freezer. So I think what I'll do tonight is literally put that on the go. Now, I'm going to have to talk to my son unless I've got a mix here. I don't personally know how to do a lot of cooking. Okay, this is what I like about no planning. All of a sudden, we go down this neat little road where I can actually learn something while I'm at it. But I have no clue how to make gravy properly. But I do know it tastes really good if it can get done right. So I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in the slow cooker today, in the crock pot, and just turn it into a lot of meals all at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, myself, I don't eat steak anymore because I've got a couple of teeth that won't handle it. And no, I'm not going to show that to you. That's a frightening thought. But since I can't go to the dentist to get them replaced, I'm pretty much stuck with figuring out how to regrow them. And this is where information from people like you, LA, and some other herbalists I know you guys have the information, you just may not know you've got it. But there is a way to regrow teeth. I've got to figure it out. Whoop. Oh yeah, what I do with the roast beef is I cut it up. Like I'm quite adept at getting your rice fish, your rice pilaf, that sort of thing, or a stir fry done. And I just cut it smaller so it's not a big problem. You know, again, that was something I was supposed to do today and forgot to. And they're not open tomorrow, so that'll have to wait. The neat part about it is I'm at a point now where I'm going, okay, how am I going to make all this work in the most efficient fashion possible? Especially since I've just told this individual, yes, we will get them out of debt. Okay, they're going to pay us back. So what we're doing is paying it off in a hurry, and then they'll get us back to us. Now, I did that with somebody else when I had a lot more money to deal with, and we ended up helping them get into a house. Now, bear in mind, this is what I'm referring to about I did have a tendency of overextending myself. I won't do that again. This time, I'm being very cautious how I'm going about it. Okay. Oh. Now, see, when it comes to when I make jerky, I marinate it in a 50-50 mix of soy sauce and Worcestershire. Okay? Never heard of the baking soda thing, so I'm guessing you just sprinkle that on top of it. Like it's this sort of thing because I figured out here I am about to be 61 years old. Maybe it's time I start doing some of the other things since I've got a stable income. Not a great one, but a stable one. Maybe it's time I settle back and learn some of these other domestic things that I totally ignored. Probably shouldn't have. Gotta get started on that, but I gotta get that laid out to do it. So why don't we dig that in? That box there. This one I don't need for for another month. That's the one card. This is receipts that have to be gone through. And that's no problem. That's how I figure out my savings. Because I gotta organize those before they get too out of hand. That book I know what I'm doing with, so why don't we dig this one out? That didn't work well. Those are part of what I'm working on. Got that all set. This, I'm going to start working on. Not right now, but I am going to lay it out. So I take this. This thing I'm dragging out is a full-size blanket I'm working on. So, we take this, see what we got here. Where is somewhere around here there should be a, what is it called? Crochet hook. This is a work in progress, but I desire this to be done by the time that Christmas rolls around. Yeah, it's a bit of a project, in case you couldn't tell. Oh, I know I'm doing it wrong there, doorknob. Roll that back up because I'm looking and making sure that it's the right length for me. Like I said, I didn't plan anything today because this is why we call it open. I keep an eye on it just in case somebody has a question they're looking at. Well, you go. Yeah. And I goes better and better and better living through chemistry. Yeah. See, now I did try that neat little thing a while ago. And yeah, I was smart enough to actually put it in the bathtub. But we took a little bottle of Coke and we took a Mentos candy. I'll tell you, I did it in the bathroom. I should have done it outside. But it did give me a reason to wash the bathtub, to wash the tub out. Because I will tell you, the thing blew up. You've seen them done on YouTube. If you haven't, don't do it yourself. Take a look at the YouTube. Look it up. The Mentos and Coke. Look at what it does. It is real. If people are telling you that's all made, that the Mentos Coke reaction is all just staged. No, it really isn't. But do yourself a favor and look at it on YouTube before anywhere else, before setting it up in your own house. If you're going to set it up, I'd recommend be ready for a shower and set it up outdoors. And then, of course, take the bottle with you. But this little project, like this red blanket, I made it too. This one, I'm planning on finishing. It has sat here since my stroke back in 2018. Started in 2018, and then at the end of 2018, I went and had myself a stroke and couldn't handle it at all. So it went on hold. Now, I'm looking at figuring it out and getting back to doing it. But this particular blanket, that's about half of what it's got to be. So I got to run it all the way down. But I can do that now. Where, pray tell, did it go? Oh, there it is. See, I was even smart enough to leave the necessary hook with it. So I can start working on that from time to time. Probably a whole lot more often than I was. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that one's, I don't know where it's going to go. Okay, but I do know that's the next one I'm finishing. I don't know how to do little ones either. Yeah, it is one of the 12 I've got listed to get finished by the end of the year. I've lost my list to 12, but that makes sense. But what I haven't figured out, and I am teaching myself, I went and did this. See, while I've been fighting to actually keep myself out of trouble, keep myself with food on the table, I've been doing a lot. Ah, there we go. Joe goes, am I perfect? No, but I do believe in God, my best. Absolutely, Joe. And the fact of the matter is, I'll tell people wholeheartedly, I believe in God. I believe in Christ. Absolutely. I am reading the Bible. That's a wake-up call. But Am I perfect? Not even functionally close. I mean, I'm barely good at being me. But I put so many things on hold and picked up this neat little book called Decorating with Crochet. I have no idea how to do things to, how to make the corners, how to make gloves, that sort of thing. The most comfortable pair of gloves I got is a pair that an ex-girlfriend of mine made. Well, at the time she was my girlfriend. It's only got 3 fingers and a thumb. It's the most comfortable pair of gloves I've ever owned. What do we got here? Oh, okay. I'll deal with that momentarily. Where are we? Oh, really? I didn't realize we'd gone that far. Okay, that's no problem. You just gave me a brilliant idea, Joe. And I'm going to take a variation on that. Okay. What I haven't, and this is something that you get to give me a yes or no on. Okay. But there's a variation on that little statement that you've just posted there, Joe. Okay. Where you've just said, am I perfect? No. Okay. Oh, I see. We missed a comma. Am I perfect? No. But I do my best. Now, that being said, unless you have a major, okay, let's try English. Okay. In positive perceptions, that little saying that you've just said, I pick up these little sayings from people all over the place. Okay. That little saying, I'm quite willing to put your name under it as to where I heard it from. Clearly, you're not the only one that said it, but I am quite willing, in positive perspectives, in the newsletter, because I'm going to take that little saying and with a variation on it. Okay, I'm going to take that and use it as an enhancement to positive perspectives. Okay, if you give me permission, I will absolutely put your name under it as the person that I heard it from first. Or at least I may have heard it before. I don't know. But that's up to you, Joe. Okay. Like I said, positive perspectives is not just my work. This is something to help everybody around the world with. I don't care what kind of a past you came from. Okay. I really don't. But, I do feel for you if you've had a hard one. But it is time to start focusing on that. So I'm going to go through this book and see if I can figure out how to do things. Wonder if I've got one of those ready. Since I went down that road. Like I said, to me, it's very important to get back to the basic idea of really what works as far as helping people. And where it comes to Christmas, Christmas, birthdays, you name it, I'm taking a look at it and going, all of what I'm working on, whatever's going out, I'm going to do my best to have some input into it. Whether that's taking something and painting it, and painting something already built. Like, for instance, I'm not a potter, and I'm not about to get into it at this point in my life. But buying pottery that's already done and it's just clay color and painting it, I'm dealing with. I've got a couple planters already done to that effect. That all I gotta do is lacquer them now, to seal them, and then carry on. But they're just clay. Okay, they are nothing fancy. As a matter of fact, that one I can show you what I'm working on. Not there. Not there. Why is it not there? And of course, what I'm looking for isn't readily viable. I don't know where it is offhand, which annoys me, but I can live with it. But I'm looking like you, as you can see, I'm getting much more into the creative side of things. Ah, perfect. Now I just require. What's that? Nope, not that one. There we are. Here we are. Let's get the eyeballs back on. What do we got? Joe Stewart here. Yes. Now, because I'm already starting to work on April's, okay, I will take that. And thank you so much for that, Joe. What have we got? He may change my life for, I don't know. Yeah, it may. One thing I can tell you, the fact that you're looking at that going, I'm not perfect, but I'm doing my best. That attitude is a winning attitude. It may not make you a multimillionaire. Okay. Matter of fact, quite frankly, being a multimillionaire has its drawbacks. Okay, it really does. But what you will find is that you keep that attitude, you keep pushing. I am in them right now. Boy, that came out well. In this autobiography, okay, this talks about a real person, run of the mill person, okay, and the struggles and the stresses they went through in real life during the Great Depression of 1929. Okay, and it shows how important communication and helping each other is when things get tough. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at the world right now going, yeah, it's a wonderful world. There is staggering amounts of possibilities here. Okay, but we've got to start working on them. We absolutely have to. You know, it's amazing. I watched there's a staggering number of people doing that. Many people are trying, much like you, LA. Many people are doing their best. They just have never been shown a different way. And therefore, it's the same struggle until you figure it out yourself or until somebody turns around and says, hey, have you considered this? And that's all I do. All I'm doing is turning on the light and saying, hey, look, I've gone through this. Okay. Have you done this yourself? If you haven't, don't tell me it won't work. Okay. Don't tell yourself it won't work. Give it a shot, but do your own research and look into it. Now, I'm telling you, I've fallen down a lot of stairs. I'm telling you, it's painful. Most people, you tell them, I fell down the stairs, it's painful. They don't go running out and try and fall down a set of stairs to test it. Unless they're stuntmen or women wannabes. At which point, they do some really bizarre things. You know, but what I'm looking at here, that's the one that's the crochet. This is just a book that I haven't done any coloring in. Okay, this one's a mandala. Okay, and again, eventually I'll get to it. But this one, what was it? Trying to see if it's actually got a price on it. Doubtful. The neat part about it is I'm not making coloring book this size. I like the idea of, 10, 20 pages, enough to get something done with enough variety to work with so that people can get it done. And the nice part about it from my end is I think what I'm going to do when I get it done is I'll actually, in this case, keep two. One, I'm going to keep black and white. The other one, I'm going to color just because I want to. People, the one thing I found out, okay, is people as they get older, they go, oh, I can't do that. That's such a childish thing to do. Get it straight. If you had a mother and father, even if you were constructed in a vat, okay, if you've got a mother or a father and a father, you're a child. Let that child play. Okay, absolutely necessary. I just looked at the binding. The binding doesn't have it, and the inside cover is blank. But I think I got it for Christmas, which may well be why there's no. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. I know where it was built, but doesn't matter much. The reality of it is, I'm going to be going through and putting that together as quick as I can. The reality, but I desire it done effectively. I've got the pictures already, so it's just a matter of time. Okay, and that boils down to sitting down and making it happen. But where it comes to the crocheting, I have no clue how to make things like, sweaters, vests, that sort of thing. But blankets, pillow throws, your doilies for setting plants on, your runners, all of those I can make. Scarves, anything that's two-dimensional, I can work with. Okay, I'm not fantastic. Matter of fact, I'm pretty putsy at it. But, and I do not know where that went. Oh well, I'll have to work that out. Now, would you look at that? This is what happens when I don't plan something. Probably a good idea. Okay. And we're going to, like I said, Sundays are literally just an issue of whatever comes up. Okay. Next week, I don't know what Sunday is going to look like. Heck, I don't know if Sunday is going to be here. Or if I'm going to be here is more to the point. But what I am aware of is I'm going to make things happen. Wonder how far behind that is. Probably only about 10 minutes, but yeah, it looks like we're about 5, like the stream itself is about 5 minutes behind itself. But that's okay. Now the neat part about it, everything I'm looking at here, I am starting to set up. I don't celebrate Christmas as in I don't have my decorations and my tree up until December 1st. Okay. And it's only up until December 31st. Gifts, on the other hand, I start working on early. Especially given that I desire all of them to be literally like I desire to have my hand on the creative side in all of them this year, except here's the neat little kicker. The best gift I ever received for Christmas. The most life-changing was my deck of tarot cards. But the best one I ever received, I was really short on money, And my brother went, my eldest brother, the one that just passed away a couple of years back, he took all kinds of groceries, okay, all kinds of canned goods, wrapped them individually, then put them all inside a big box, wrapped those all individually, wrap the big box individually, put it under the tree. Best Christmas gift I ever got. Yeah, massive waste of paper. He could have just bought me the groceries and set it under the tree. I'm telling you, it may not make sense. And I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or not, or if you celebrate birthdays for that matter. Okay, but I will tell you, dropping food on somebody's lap, the necessities if they don't have any, luxuries if they've got a fair supply, if they've already got enough food. Food is one of those things that virtually everybody appreciates and absolutely everybody uses. So I've got I've got a lot of work lined up. And I think we're dark outside, aren't we? Ow. We are. But that's not a big problem. It's 6:30 here. Well, just about 6:25. And with that in mind, guys, I do appreciate you sharing your time with me. We're hitting the 2-hour mark here. So I really do appreciate you sharing your time with me. And the feedback, the help I get is incredible. Yeah. And yeah, LA goes, my father-in-law loves when I get him a yard of beef stick and a block of cheddar. Absolutely. I've got my best friend's parents. I literally call them mom and dad now. I get the one licorice all sorts. The other one I get I think it's Scottish shortbread. No, Walker's. Okay. Every year for the last decade I've got them that. Okay. Of course, my buddy turns around, he's the one that does all the baking. So he brings it over to me. Works out nicely. That's all we've exchanged for over a decade. Okay. Now, with that in mind, I do want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with me today, guys. Tomorrow, on Monday, we're going to be looking into the life of the Caboran. Okay. Not so much a society, but you'll get to understand that one. But we're going to talk about the life and existence of the Caboran. Okay. That's tomorrow, 4:30 till 6:30 tomorrow. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.